Hello, Graham from ArionGames here, and in the third of my videos talking about magic in Advanced Fighting Fantasy, I wanted to cover minor magic. And I left this till last because although the very name minor magic suggests that it's not very powerful, and indeed the spells are not very powerful, it can still be an essential component of a game. And minor magic is not designed just to be cast by wizards. So if you look at, for example, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, wizards can cast lesser spells pretty much indefinitely all day. And that's good. And in a way, that's how minor magic works in AFF. But it is not just limited to wizards. So elves, for example, get 1 point in the magic special skill. So elves can use minor magic pretty much from the start. And that's how it was intended to be. It was intended to be something to give wizards or even sorcerers or priests just a little bit of extra capability, but at the same time it could also be used by a rogue. One of the characters in the core book, one of the sample characters, is a conjurer type. He's got a range of magic, minor magic spells, cantrips, but also having sort of stealth and roguey skills and persuasion skills and so on. So a bit of a magical rogue. And these spells, because they don't generally cost a magic point, so they will only cost you a magic point if you fail your spellcasting roll. If you make your spellcasting roll, no problem, no points. So you can cast lots and lots of them per day. So they don't cost a magic point to cast. Similarly, they get a +6 on their casting roll. So even a very unskilled character with 1 in the magic skill, magic stat, 1 in the minor magic special skill, needs an 8 or less to cast it. So it's got well over 50%, high 60-70% chance to cast it without any preparation whatsoever. Which means that that character can put 1 into each of those. They can still use their cantrips, their minor magic, pretty effectively. And you might look at them and think, well, hang on a minute, smudge. Wow, it's not very powerful, is it? Because you can smudge the writing on a page. Well, it's very conditional. It could be very, very useful. Most of the time, it's going to be absolutely useless. You could, for example, look at the mend. So again, you can repair small items. Again, great for repairing equipment, but most of the time, not particularly useful. Then you look at some of them, for example, like repulsion. You make 1 target take an instant dislike to another target, another person. Now, it says it will not necessarily be violent, but will be a strong emotion. Now, if you cast repulsion on a paladin, for example, and you make him dislike the mage, he may well call him a cur, he may well say, get out of my sight, whatever, but that's about as far as it will go. However, if you come across 2 orcs in a dungeon and they're bickering and they turn to fight you and you cast repulsion on one of them, they've already got a dislike of each other. And all of a sudden one now really doesn't like the other one. Now, if you then follow that up with some a verbal roll, a persuasion roll effectively, to say, look, he's going to stab you in the back, you could actually get them fighting each other for a round or 2 or a few rounds. Now, it may well not swing the fight entirely, but it's really quite a nice effect to have for a cantrip. Similarly, you can stick someone's sword in their scabbard for a few rounds, which again, or someone's boot to the floor. Now, you might need to hold him in place for a round or 2, but still, holding 1 enemy in place for a round or 2 may well even the odds at the start of a fight. You've even got things like sober. Instantly sobers up 1 character. Now, we all know what player characters are like. They're too much dwarven spirits, too much orc ale, big problem. Sober spell can be great. So there's a whole range of very, very useful cantrips. Now, when a character adds to their magic special skill, they get free cantrips. So wizardry, you have to buy new spells. But minor magic, you don't, you get them all. And therefore, this becomes a really, really useful tool. Now, of course, putting 1 point in magic and 1 point in magic special, minor magic special skill does detract potentially from your stamina, your skill, your luck, from your other special skills. But not in a huge way. And so giving a character this extra capability is just another facet of the way the character creation can go. You can build some really, really interesting characters. And so I'm going to leave this one now. I only wanted it to be a short video. Minor magic is not particularly complex, it's not particularly long. But if you are playing Advanced Fighting Fantasy or you're creating a character, don't rule out minor magic, even if you are a rogue or a ranger or something of that sort, okay? Because it could come in very, very handy. So that's all for now, and until next time, good gaming.